Hi friends, in this video I'm going to talk to you about John Keats, the youngest of the romantic poets of 19th century. An ostler married his master's daughter and acquired the business of his father-in-law and settled in Finsbury Pavement. This ostler was an ordinary man but a very shrewd businessman, and his wife was given to enjoyment, you can say kind of hedonistic woman. And to this ordinary couple was born on 31st October 1795 John Keats. Friends, John Keats also did not show any mark of genius in his early years of life. And as he lost his father at a very young age, when he was only 8, he lost his father to an accident. His father fell from a horse and broke his skull and died instantly. John Keats became a little irritating and morbid. But some critics say that when he was young and when in the company of his friends, he also showed a lot of enthusiasm and vivacity. But usually he was given to fighting, he was given to irritating activities, which was not much appreciated by the then friends of John Keats. So this young boy did not exhibit this poetic genius in his young age, but this poetic genius was very much hidden there. So when at the age of 14 he lost his mother to tuberculosis, there came a turning point in the life of this young boy. His guardians, his relatives took him under their guardianship and apprenticed him for 5 years into surgery. So this young boy was trained into a surgeon. So at the age of 20 he was a trained surgeon. But his heart was not into compound fractures. His heart was there into creative writings. And he was introduced to poetic works by his friend Corden Clark. Corden Clark introduced him to Henry Spencer's Fairy Queen, and the Spencerian imagery actually influenced this young man's mind very much, and he started copying his master. So the early poem like Sleep and Poetry, Hyperion and Lamia, etc. So the influence of Spencer and the Elizabethan conceit very much there in him. So you can see in Sleep and Poetry the Spencerian imagery and Elizabethan conceit very much evident. For his imitation of his master Spencer and for his poor poetic skills, the then critics vehemently attacked him, and this young boy took the attacks very, very sincerely, but he was not defeated by these attacks. He was not defeated by this criticism, and he kept on writing, he kept on reading voraciously, he kept on understanding the literature and its nuances very, very keenly. So later on he could give us the best of the poetic works in English literature. Friends, he had a friend, Leigh Hunt, who influenced him immensely, and Leigh Hunt was himself a great writer, poet and critic, and he introduced him to great many works of Shakespeare, and he also you can say not only Leigh Hunt but Corden Clark, his friend, both of them introduced him to Homer, introduced him to Hellenism, or you can say Hellenistic beauty and medievalism. So in the later works of John Keats, you can see the influences of medievalism. Actually, he took his material for his poetic crafts from medievalism, from Hellenism. You can very well understand it. So, in later works of John Keats, you can see the influences of medievalism very much. But I would like to say that John Keats is better known or best known for his odes, his fantastic odes. Early odes of John Keats are not much important, but his ode, the odes that he wrote during the period 1818 to 1821, like Odes to Nightingale, Ode on a Grecian Urn, Ode to an Autumn, and Ode on Melancholy. These odes really show him at his genius. These odes are also the best literary gifts to English verse, I could say. Friends, if Wordsworth spiritualizes nature and Shelley intellectualizes nature, John Keats was content to express it through senses, through touch, through scent, through pulsing music. So sensuousness actually plays a key role in the making of this great poet, John Keats. Despite all his cynicism, Byron could not free himself from Christianity. And also, despite all his indifference to religion and his inclination towards atheism, P.B. Shelley could not free himself completely from Christianity. We can say for John Keats, there was no religion save the religion of beauty. There was no God save Pan. So he actually was a great admirer of the earth, and he was a great admirer of the nature, and he depicted nature without any agenda. You can say what he observed in nature, he depicted it exactly. So you can say in Scott, you see in the depictions of landscape, the association of history, you see nothing as such in the poetry of John Keats. The poems of John Keats also have an influence of William Wordsworth and Coleridge. And but when we talk about his odes, there you see, particularly in Ode to Nightingale, you see the passion, the energy, the kind of control also, the kind of restraint also. So when he says somewhere in one of his writings that poetry is known by its fine excess, it is his fine restraint that makes him a great poetic genius. One of the last works of John Keats is Endymion. And Endymion, for its all Miltonic beauty, for its all accomplishment, made John Keats the immortal poet of English literature. Though John Keats himself was not much happy or satisfied with the work, with his work on Endymion, but Matthew Arnold heaps a lot of praise on him for his creation of Endymion, and he has compared John Keats to even Shakespeare. So had John Keats lived long, he could have become as great as William Shakespeare. Friends, John Keats fell sick at a very young age. He lost his mother to tuberculosis, and he also lost his brother Tom in the year 1818 to tuberculosis. One of his brothers, George, migrated to the United States of America. So he actually felt lonely. He was actually sick and lonely. His friends Leigh Hunt, of course, played a great role, but in his life, and could be a reason for his living. And his girlfriend Fanny Brown was also a reason for his living. But as he became very sick, and he was very much sure that he was not going to live long, the relationship between Fanny Brown and John Keats could not go deeper, and ultimately, and in the year 1821, John Keats also succumbed to tuberculosis, and the poetry, the world of poetry, actually saw great loss in the death of John Keats. At a very young age, at only 25, this great poet left this world and made the world of literature really mourn the loss very much. So I think, my dear friends, you would like this video, and I would wait for your comments, for your valuable comments after this, after you watch this video on John Keats. Many more videos will follow after this video. Thank you for watching it. Thank you.